Hi, Dr. Mel again, busy with physics, and today we are going to look at vectors, not just one vector, but multiple vectors. Let's quickly revise what we did with vectors. If I have a vector like this one here, I can actually find the x and the y components by using trigonometry. If I have the angle, I can find the sides. If I have the sides, I can find the angle. So what would we do? We could find angles with the trigonometry relations. Be careful that you identify the right sides, the hypotenuse, the adjacent, and the opposite sides, and then use the correct ratio, the sine function, the cos function, and the tan function. Right, let's get started. If I had a vector like that, now what do we have? We've got a boat that travels 90 meters due east. So this boat starts there and it travels 90 meter in the eastern direction. It then goes 50 meter due north. So it stops there, go up there, and as soon as it's there, they ask me, what is the displacement of the boat? So it started at this point. Let's just indicate it started there and it's there now, and they now asked me to actually calculate the displacement from there to there. And we can use, just think a little bit, Pythagoras. I've got the x component and I've got the y component. So let's quickly see how Pythagoras would give me the answer. I want the hypotenuse. I've got the x and the y value. And we can find that by actually just substituting the 90 square and the 50 square. Now we do get the r, which is that resultant or the hypotenuse, by getting the square root of that answer. The angle there I can do with either of the sides. I can do it with tan, which is the opposite over the adjacent. But I could also use sine, which is the opposite over the hypotenuse, or cos, which is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And then you find your angle. And that's the important indication of a vector. To give the size, which we calculated as 102.96, but also indicate the direction, which says it's 29.05 from this x angle towards north. So it's important to give the direction. You could express the direction by saying it's a bearing of 60.95 degrees, which means it's from the y-axis. Or you could say it is a 102.96 meter at that angle, which we calculated as 29.05. Depending on what's your comfort zone, you give your answer, but make sure that you've got a unit, which is in this case the meters, and you've got the angle. Right, let's go to a more complex way of presenting vectors. I'm presenting you with three vectors. It's a simultaneous vector, so you see it moves from that original point outward, all three of them. I've got 11 Newton there, and it's at an angle of 70 degrees. I've got this 20 Newton here at this angle of 35 degrees, and I've got this 30 Newton there with 40 degrees. If I asked you to draw it graphically and find the resultant graphically, you would probably go and start probably with 11. From that point, you would draw your 20, and from there, your 30. That would probably be a little bit longer, and that would give you your resultant. So I started there, I ended there, and that's my resultant. That's one way of doing it. Another way is by finding the actual components of each of them. So let's try. I am going to work with just the 11. I've got the 11 there, and as you see, this is just a rough little diagram. I then have that angle of 70 degrees, and I can now calculate the components of the 11. I can actually get the x component, and I can get the y component. So in a later slide, I'll show you where we did the calculations. But for now, so for each of these, you find the x component and you find the y component by using this size, which is 11 Newton, and the 70-degree angle. Let's go to the next one. The next one is the 20 Newton. So there you'll have your 20 Newton, and again, you'll have your x component there, and you'll have your y component there. Again, I've got the angle, 35 degrees. I've got the hypotenuse, or the 20 Newton, and I can then get the x and the y, and make sure that you are in the right and the correct quadrant. The next one, the third component, is the 30 newtons going down there. So the 30 Newton, my scale is a little bit cockeyed because it's turned around, but I've got my 30 Newton there, and it'll show you that I can then get my horizontal when my vertical, or as I said, the x, which is the horizontal, and the vertical, which is the y. And again, I've got that angle as 40, and make sure that you use your math. If I'm working in this triangle, I would then say that is 40, this angle would be 50. You have to think exactly how you're going to approach this by using your trigonometry or your math. Right, so we've got three components. Just let's have a look at that. Remember, we have a vector there, 11. We've got another one, 20, and we've got another one at 30, each with their own direction. We want to find the resultant. As I said, we're going to find the components of each of them. Draw a table where you are going to list your three vectors. I've got an 11, a 20, and a 30 Newton force, simultaneously working on an object. I am now going to find the horizontal of each of them and the vertical component of each of them. So let's go and do a little bit of trick. I had a 70-degree angle and a hypotenuse of 11. So the horizontal would then be, can you remember? That would be my horizontal of my 11. That will be the adjacent side. Therefore, I'm using cos, and I got an answer of 3.76. Exactly the same was done with the 20 newtons. It was again the 35 degrees, which I then found having the adjacent, and I had the hypotenuse, and I could find the horizontal component. And exactly the same with the 30 newtons, using the 40 degrees and multiplying that with the hypotenuse. You then get three answers: the horizontal of the 11, the horizontal of the 20, and the horizontal of the 30. Exactly the same method will be followed with the vertical. The 70 degrees times the 11 sine, because it's the opposite side, will give me that value. The vertical of the 35 degrees multiplied with the hypotenuse 20 will give me 11.47. That would be down. And the 40 degrees times the hypotenuse 30 would give me a side of 19.28. So we only did the calculations now. Let's have a look at the directions. Remember, we're working with vectors. This one would be to the right. And if you have a good idea of the x-axis, that would obviously be the positive side of the axis. This one would also, remember that one was drawn like that. This one was going up like that. That would also have a positive x value, therefore it's to the right. This one, however, went down like that, and it's going left. So the x value would be to the left. Let's now do the vertical. I have here the one going up, so that y value would be up. This one is going down. Remember, this was my vector, so it's going down. And this one was there, and it also went down. So make sure that you've got those. We won't indicate it as up and down. In the next slide, you see, I actually went about and gave them values. So I've got the right one as a positive value. Do you see there? I've got the right one again as a positive value, and I've got the left one there as the negative value. As you know, my x-axis to the right will be positive and to the left will be negative. And that's exactly what I did there. Exactly the same technique you'll follow when you do the y-axis. This one went up, so that will be the positive. This one went down, therefore the negative. And that one was also, if you remember, down. So it's also a negative value. So the first thing you do is you complete your table, you find the correct trigonometry functions, and then finally you add your directions. After you've done that, you've got 3 horizontal components to find the resultant. You then add these 3 together, and by adding them, you have to then recognize that they've got different signs. And then you find a summative answer for your horizontal. So my x value is minus 2.84 newtons. The same technique you're using with vertical. I've got the plus, 2 minuses. I add them together to find the resultant. And as you see, it's minus 28.41 newton. So now I've got the 2 components of the resultant. I added all the x's to get the x. I added all the y's to get the y. So what do I do with this now? I'm now going to draw this resultant. And as you see, I've got a horizontal value of 2.84, minus meaning this side. So to this side, I'll draw a value of 2.84. And now, obviously, you can use a scale, but if we use math, we don't need a scale. We don't need to waste time with that. You can just draw a line that's 2.84 and represents that. The y value is also negative, and it's minus 28. So in my diagram, I have to draw a longer line now because it's 28.41, and now I have the 2 components. And as you know, I can now complete this triangle with the vertical and the horizontal and really find the resultant. And can you see I can now do with getting the 3 components of the 3 vectors x and y, I can now find the resultant, which is the final answer which they asked me. Please remember that I also have to get the angles, not just the value. So if you do Pythagoras, and if we go back there, if you do your Pythagoras calculation, I would now say the resultant square is the x square plus the y square, and you will now actually do your calculation, which will give me an answer of, and remember, I'm there working in square, the answer I got, and you can test me, I got 28.55 Newton. So do this calculation and see if you find the correct answer or the same answer as I did. Now, we've got 3 angles now. We've got 3 sides, sorry. We've got that side as 2.84. We've got this side as 28.41, and now we calculated as well the hypotenuse, which is 28.55, and all of these are Newton. This will now give me the opportunity to work out the angle, and let's go and work out the angle. We could say sine of, let's say, that angle. Sine of that angle would be the opposite over the hypotenuse. Opposite to this angle would be that side there, which is 28.41. And you know the hypotenuse is 28.55. And remember, it's sine theta. So I've got to do shift sine to get the answer. And when I did that, I got 28.41 degrees, which means that angle there is 28.41 degrees. You would then present your answer as saying The resultant of those three is 28.55 Newton, and it's 28.41 degrees, let's say, south from west. I hope you understood how I broke up each of the vectors into horizontal and vertical, and then got to a total. So always vertical and horizontal. Make sure that you know, is it sine or is it cos, and then determine the graphically or calculate the resultant. I hope you enjoy working nice, challenging a subject like physics, but nice and challenging questions like this will give you a good ability to work with grade 12 uh, uh, power and all the vectors that we are going to use there. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.